Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff with co-host Chip.
Chip.
There he is. What is going on, Chip? Man, last night we had a blast. It was so much fun
Yeah, we had a great
until the stream ended, but 28 solid minutes last night. Tonight, we are going to get into the big moves. Ripple, XRP, the crypto space is heating up. We're fired up. You guys are fired up, and that's why we're all here on the chain.
Let's get it started, Jeff.
Let's go.
Get it started. Let's do this.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Yeah. So look, you're right. We got a solid 28 minutes in there. And look, hey, technology is a great thing when it works. That's what I always say, when it works. Never when you're doing a critical demo that everybody's got to be logged in from 14 places. And does it ever go right? But that's just how life is, man. You roll with it.
It always works.
But the good news is we got so many cool things to talk about. And at the top of it is really XRP. Let's talk about that, Jeff, and some of the moves that are being made right now.
Bring it up.
Some of the critical moves that are being made. So I want to pull this first article up here. Let's jump into this because it's kind of passing a little bit under the radar. I'll be honest with you, Jeff, I don't have any secret documents or red boxes to draw around stuff. Here's what we do have is this article right here.
Secret. Look at the secret logo.
It does have a lot of stuff moving at the top. So I'll move that up. So look at this. So payments processor, Global Processing Services, today announced that it joined forces with Currency Cloud. Currency Cloud is a Ripple partner.
You
see, so people are always looking for Ripple. They're like, well, what's Ripple doing? What's XRP doing? What's up with the lawsuit? No, there's big moves happening behind the scenes. And one of the things that they're doing, partnering with Currency Cloud, is to widen the access to cross-border payments. That sounds familiar. For financial institutions, fintechs, providing a passport to the post-COVID world. And
that was even in the pre-COVID world. I mean, this is all.
Are we doing pre and post now?
A little spin in there. Yeah,
a little bit of
pre, post, same stuff.
And the combined value proposition will deliver a complete enterprise grade. You see that? Off the shelf, pre-integrated solution, enable businesses to offer a customer compliance, regulatory infrastructure, something that's missing over here from the crypto world. Cross-border payments, infrastructure, real-time FX for overseas and card transactions, access to global banking network, multi-currency accounts, banking cards, and much more. So it's pretty cool to see a Ripple partner out there doing some business. And it's, again, don't think it's always going to come from Ripple.
That's right. It's not. Ripple's laying the groundwork. They've got some of the rails in place. There's so much more. They can only focus in one little category to make it happen. Then you have all these other companies coming about. Currency Cloud bringing the global payment space cross-border to B2B. I mean, it's massive. We're just looking at the beginning stages of all this. Financial institutions, B2B. There's so much money. Chip, we talked about that graphic. We should put that graphic kind of on standby, and we can constantly go back and reference, because it was such a solid lineage of conversation to see where all the money is.
That's a really good one. I think what I'll do is I'll find it. We'll actually have it. What we'll do is pin some of the more important stories we have on our software we use to kind of keep it up top. But I wanted to put this up. This is something, it's an older thing, but let's review it because I think there's good stuff in here. Currency Cloud, Ripple partner for easier worldwide business-to-business payments. This came out.
I like it.
This came out July 6, 2020, almost a year ago. But again, it talks about how they work in the global B2B space, cross-border payments, working with enterprise. And I think the key thing here is working with enterprise-type companies, maybe not necessarily the financial ones. But again, Jeff, as we always talk about here, we always have a need. There's always going to be a need for companies, even mid-sized companies, to be able to move and sell and move money all over the world.
Man, that's it. When you're moving money and you're streamlining it, that's what makes the world go round. So right now, it's already been identified. Everybody knows it's broken. It's identified at the highest levels of government across the world, right? China's identified it with the digital yuan. All this conversation at the central bank level that they need some form of a central bank digital currency. So we know it's for real. And it's not just Ripple talking about it, not just R3, not just the Stellar Foundation. there's a lot of movement in that direction. And man, when you can simplify it, and we've talked about it so much, for those of you guys that are in business, for those of you that have done global trade and you've waited around to collect your money and you found the mechanisms and you've run into the obstacles of currency exchange and changing in the valuations, and all of this stuff could go hour to hour, day to day. Businesses held up because you couldn't get the money there fast enough. Letters of credit, all these things bog business down. Just think about the streamlining of the payment space. It's insurmountable. It's amazing. It's so needed.
And I want to just I want to reference this one quote here. Currency Cloud Chief Executive Mike Lavin said, "The idea was based on bringing clarity, speed, and value to the traditionally opaque, costly, time-consuming issues associated with cross-border payments, particular for SMEs, which is what they deal with, small to medium enterprise companies that have historically been underserved by traditional banking." So what they're doing is they're finding this niche out there for the SME market. And then he goes on to say that Ripple's solution will help us extend our network to new parts of the world, removing more barriers to payments for our clients. So it's win all the way around. And then you get, so this is what sometimes people are like, always, we got to be careful. We got to look at the broad, scope. You got to like back out a little bit, hold up, start looking at everything that's going on, because these things are going on pretty often. Sometimes they're harder to spot, right? Because you're looking for the Ripple story, the XRP or Stellar, or Zinfin, XDC. You're looking for that, but sometimes a partner is making moves in the background, and that's kind of what we wanted to highlight tonight. Because I think that we got to keep in mind this stuff is going on, and it's huge for what's going on. And there's also some big Stellar news too, with the Stellar partner making some waves. So the next one, let's jump into this next story here.
And you want to talk about something that's not Ripple or XRP related?
Possibly. Maybe like at the end of the segment, Jeff, we'll get into that. It's a possibility. Oh, what's so funny? It's like I keep trying to open this thing and it's a PDF and it's like it wants to download it. I'm like, why are you downloading
it?
Oh
yeah, I've got it open somewhere. It's in one
you open it up. I'll just go ahead and go into this next one.
It's open already.
Oh, you have it open?
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into that, I just want to get into this story here, which is Ripple partnered named Worldline. They partnered with, here, let's throw this up on screen. They partner with Bofrost to boost payments and transaction services. Again, this is a brand new press release just coming out today. Worldline in the payments and transactional services industry, partner of Ripple. Preferred partner of Bofrost, that's Europe's direct distributor of frozen foods and ice cream, which is kind of yummy, right? Together, the companies have built a complete solution that reduces the necessary hardware, establishes a secure connection between the various devices. Worldline is a partner Bofrost can count on to deliver secure, frictionless processing, cashless systems, multiple digital services for consumers and merchants across Europe. So it's, again, little steps every day, every week. There's some partner making moves and partnering with somebody else. I don't know if you had that. Yeah, throw that up there now.
Worldline, man, Worldline around since 2013, or at least based off of research that's been around since 2013.
And do a find for Ripple. It shows up in that first paragraph there, I believe.
Yeah, it's right here.
There it is.
So here, it's significant because here you have this research has been led by Workforce Blockchain, right? So I can't highlight it, which is made up of experts from Worldline and Atos, whose tasks include blockchain training, tech exploration. So then they look into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Fabric, multi-chain. And then here you have that Worldline is partnered and recognized contributor. And then you go into like Ripple. So they're involved at many different levels. And so what you were talking about before, that it's not just Ripple that's going to make it happen. There's all these other projects that are out there building in this space, utilizing technology, putting down the rail. Sometimes, it seems like nothing's moving. It's kind of like, if you go through a weight loss program, right? And you start working out, you're eating right. And all of a sudden you're gaining muscle and you're losing body fat, but you get on the scale and you're like, holy cow, I gained 3 pounds. Right. Or my scale weight hasn't changed. My diet, exercise, not working. But then if you go check your body fat and you can do a scan and see all your lean mass and body, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, something's actually happening. I'm actually losing body fat and gaining mass. And so here it's the same type of thing. They're putting all these rails down. We see RippleNet, but you don't always see the behind the scenes, all that, the positives, the good things happening. And then all of a sudden one day you're like, holy cow, so-and-so's using it, and then all of a sudden, stuff's moving, and, SBI over in Japan is using the ODL, and then this one's using that platform, and they're building, and all of a sudden you have the network, and you didn't realize it was happening. And it's pretty amazing. It really is,
Yeah, and it is. And so, if you start looking for the news, there's the traditional stuff where you see, well, Ripple did this, and we all know about the partnerships because blasted all over crypto Twitter or any of the social or the Instagram, whatever it might be. And the Googles, if you look on the Googles, but you can see it. But again, you start looking deeper, there's other things that are happening. Like, for example, here's one right here. Siam Commercial Bank taps Thunes for cross-border payments. And now Thunes, which we'll jump into a little bit, Thailand's first and oldest bank and Thunes, global leader in cross-border payments, announced the partnership to enable consumers and businesses overseas send funds to Thailand faster, cheaper, and with higher transaction limits. And what did I want to go into? Let's see. Yeah, pleased to announce this partnership with Thunes, a global leader in the cross-border payments landscape. You go like, well, who's Thunes? Well, they back in September of 2020, they raised $60 million for cross-border payments in the emerging. They're based out of Singapore. They have cross-border payments network to make financial services more accessible. This Thunes was founded in 2019 when the financial tech company transferred to. I always wonder what happened to them. Transferred to, split into two companies. Thunes business to business. See it again, Jeff. B2B.
I do.
Yeah. You got the B2B happening
Seems
again.
Like a consistent theme.
Right. And then we have DT1, which focuses more consumer. So they broke off the consumer and they broke off the business to business. They named that Thunes, which rolls right off your tongue right there, and develops other APIs and financial services, digital wallet providers, and blah, 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 blah. And then Western Union partners with Stellar collaborator Thunes. So you have Siam Bank, which is a Ripple partner. You have Thunes, which also works with Stellar, with the Stellar network. And so this was
Western Union. Western Union vis-a-vis Thunes working with Stellar. I like it.
Yeah, this is from 2019. This is 2 years ago, but it just starts showing you that it's all kind of twisted and tied together. But again, it talks about the partnership when Western Union was looking at that, and there's some other Western Union news as well.
Chip, I just want to make a statement. You don't have to invent the connections, right? You don't have to try to read in between the lines and make up stuff that doesn't exist, right? You don't have to say, well, this happened, so therefore this happened. You can just look at the facts like this and say, this one's working with this partner, that's working with that partner, that's using this technology for the purpose of streamlining this because they want to go to B2B, because they want cheaper payments. They're expanding their presence in a given area. It becomes super significant, and you don't have to try to always say A, B's way over here, therefore it's interconnected. It doesn't work quite like that. There's always going to be the interconnecting bits, and you just got to find them. And when you find them, then you can say A and B are interconnected. Until then, A doesn't always connect to B. That's
well said. Yeah, don't read into it. Look at Darcy with I think that's a request.
Well, that was a little too soon, because this was HBI saying, Darcy, what does me stand for? What does it mean?
Another epic moment on the chain when Jeff got stuck in, he was saying me about 4,000 times in a row, but he didn't realize that it was, and I was looking around like, is it just me? Turns out it wasn't just me. It was
it was just me.
It was the entire chat.
So here, Gian, MXGA makes XRP great again. PS 2024.
MXGA. Okay, there you go. There you go.
There you go. And then Parsa Persian. I know DAI covered this today, but what do you guys think about making XRP illegal for retail investors like they did with gold in the 30s? You know what, Chip? I think that's an outstanding point. I don't know what DAI said, because I didn't listen to it. But the thing is, I thought about this, and I know we've discussed this a long time ago, based on the fact that it was always my premise and belief that XRP wasn't made for retail consumption. I always believe that XRP initially was all about the financial institutions and moving money. And the banks, therefore, don't necessarily want to play in the same sandbox as retail investors. They don't want the retail investors upsetting the cart, right? So if the retail investors decide one day to dump, then it could potentially impact, or whatever happens over here could impact how the financial institutions work with it. That was a while ago. I fast forward to now. I still believe that may have been, somewhat in the cards. But now that it's out of the bag, so XRP is all over the place. There's retail investors. However, I still believe that I don't believe it'll be made illegal. I don't know that would happen. I could be 100% wrong, but I also don't believe that XRP itself was meant for over-the-counter type retail transaction. I don't think it was meant for that. I think it was meant for the purpose that it's being used for: cross-border payments, orchestrating B2B, simplifying the less expensive. There's too much technology in the XRP ledger to be used for everyday purchasing. I could be completely off base here. It could be used for that. You can make a use case, but that use case is not so exciting, to me.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of a different opinion here, which is always good because we can mix it up a little bit. First of all, what would you do if they make, what would you do if they make crypto channels on YouTube illegal? Okay. What if they make, keep that up there. I want to sort of vamp on this a little bit. What if they make Teslas illegal? What if they make cars illegal? What if everything you like is called illegal? So yeah, okay, you can always say there's something going to be illegal. That's illegal. The bottom line is, I think Jeff's onto something here when it really wasn't designed for retail investors, right? But here's the thing: as long as you're able to purchase it, as long as it's a digital asset, as long as it can be purchased on an exchange, then it's not the only one. There's XLM. Then if people think, well, that's more retail. You've got more institutional over here on this side with XRP. I don't really buy into it. Listen, and there's a bunch of people that come from this whole thought center, this thought school of the SEC just wants to get the escrow, man. They're after it. Well, what legal realm is there for them to take it? You lost a lawsuit. You owe us 50 billion XRP, right? I mean, is that what they're going to, could they do that? Probably unlikely. So the whole idea of them getting at the escrow, we got to have the escrow, we got to get the escrow. To me, I just find it to be a little bit on the thin side. Bottom line is that nobody thought at one point there would be a private ledger. People are like, well, there's the XRPL. No one's going to, why would they have a private one? But then the bank said, hey, man, we don't really want our customers' information out on a public blockchain. So they created something that would serve a bank by being private. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. But making it illegal for retail investors, you will never be able to buy anymore. Okay, for what sort of device, which way, circumstance would they do to take that away? I don't really see them saying, now you got to remember the reason they did gold. Now gold's a little bit of a different scenario. Gold, and the reason they did this in 71, they said there were too many speculators in the marketplace. Because of the speculation, we are temporarily going to halt it. We're not gonna pair it 1-to-1. It's not gonna be on parity. $1 US is not gonna buy any gold anymore. And then they left it there for the next 40 some years, right? 50 years, because they go 50 years if you do the math, right? So they left it there and they go like, well, yeah, we were supposed to be temporary. And if you look at in the 30s, there was another reason why the whole idea of gold back then. The digital asset space, I don't really see it. There's too many. Now, when there was gold was it. You had silver, yeah, other precious metals like platinum and uranium and other things came into play. But the one that's been around the longest for thousands of years that was sort of the method of exchange was gold. You make jewelry out of it. It's used in electronic devices, a little bit different scale, thousands of cryptocurrency. And the one we're going to single out? Yeah, you guessed it, XRP. I'm not buying it. I just don't personally buy it. I think it's a little bit thin, Jeff. That's just where I come from. But maybe I'm more optimistic. Maybe, DAI sees it a little bit more, on a different level than I do. I don't know, man. I don't see how
I
they
don't know
would do it.
what was his outcome. What did he say? Did he say yes, no? Was it just a conversation piece where he was discussing the possibility?
I don't know. It's hard to know, Jeff. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I mean, the bottom line is look, XRP right here, and a lot of people don't really know about it because if you think about it, only 1 or 2% are retail investors actually holding XRP. A lot of it's institutional, so there is that aspect of it. But I don't know. I mean, any government could make something illegal. Will they make crypto illegal? Yeah. Then all the companies will move on somewhere else, and they'll use it all over the world. And then the country like U.S. said that is illegal will lose. Pretty simple formula. It's not too difficult. What are you laughing over there, Jeff?
What's that? Crypto novice Kim got in here. She said, "Night, guys." But I was reading this one here. John Doe Crypto just got here, but I want my 25 minutes back from yesterday.
Well, so do we. I mean, my gosh, we would love to, but sometimes, sometimes the software you use, I was thinking it couldn't possibly be Jeff and I going down. It just wouldn't possibly be that.
So Parza said it's all speculation at this point. It won't be a bad idea to become accredited investor just in case. And if you can qualify to become an accredited investor, it opens up your realm of possibilities. So you can really do so much more, including, you look at some of the way the ICOs were structured and pre-IPOs and all of those. Then there's more availability to the accredited investor, but you have to meet a pretty big criteria. I think first and foremost, you have to have $1 million in invested asset. You have to have X amount of capital, of liquid capital. You have to meet whatever the standard is. There's a specific standard. Once you meet that, then why not? It just, again, opens up your world. And really a lot of the investing has been geared towards that world. Making sure that the accredited investor and the institutions can keep further expanding on their portfolio and limiting some of the retail. And now we're seeing that kind of flip on its head when we're seeing what's going on in the crypto space. You're seeing what's going on, Chip, like what happened with GameStop. You're seeing everything flip, and that narrative and the powers that be up there, they didn't like it so much. And there's a little bit of uncertainty as how the SEC is even going to handle some of that fallout, so it's interesting.
Certainly is. And, I like, this is somebody that I follow on Twitter, and this is Dr. Parikh Patel. He always puts out some really interesting things. This is just a quick one here, but he says, imagine being a portfolio manager, spending hundreds of hours in your life analyzing stocks only to outperform the S&P 500 by 2%. When you could have just invested in Dogecoin and been up 4,200% year to date. It's like, imagine. That's funny stuff, man. Just imagine, if you will. It's good stuff, man. I love stuff like that. You're like, well, 4,200%. And Jeff, the other night we talked about XRP in 5 years is up 14,000%. Everyone's like, it doesn't. When's it gonna moon? Well, when it's good and ready is what that's what I'm gonna say right there. But yeah, it's
maybe it mooned already. Maybe they all mooned, and now we're waiting for the Mars mission.
The Mars mission, that's next. It mooned, and now we're going to Mars. Going to Mars, right?
Somebody had the over/under on when the tech problems would start.
Well, that's not a good thing. Don't bet against us. Always bet on us. Never bet against us. Always
somebody
bet
put up
us.
$10. $10 that we had about 10 minutes.
Wow.
But now I can't find it.
Ouch. That's that is rough, Jeff.
Yeah.
That is some rough stuff right there. There's another tweet that I wanted to look for. It's so funny. It's like I had it, and then it was there for a moment, and then who knows what happened.
Here you go. I kind of pawn said, Darcy, why can't anyone have a conversation about it without saying, do your own research or some BS? Just talk about the project. Exactly. Everybody's so worried. You want to get into it. Say, hey, this project has got merit. But hey, you know what? Don't listen to me. Just do your own research. Really, what that means is only invest what you can afford to lose. That's what that means at the end of the day. Everybody gets onto YouTube. You're looking at projects and you're watching these videos and you're like, man, that project sounds awesome. I'm going to try to invest in it. Well, if I'm going to put $1,000 in it, I better be ready for that $1,000 to just wash away. But it might not. It might double, triple, quadruple. But that's up to the individual's risk tolerance. That's about it.
Yeah, it always comes down to risk, because you know what happens, and David Schwartz, God bless him, he pointed something out that I never really considered before. He goes, what if you're not a good researcher? What if you're horrible at research? Like, yeah, I did my research and I put my life savings into some coin no one ever heard of. And I'm not sort of, razzing all over some coin no one heard of before. But I'm like, what if you're not a good researcher? Everyone's driving around in cars and, trucks. But here's the thing. They're not all good drivers. Everyone gets a license. You get a license. You get a license. Everyone gets a license, Jeff. But we all know that everyone's not a good driver. But you know what else they're not? They might not be great investors. And that's like, well, do your own research. Well, it's like their own research is watching some nutter on YouTube talk about connecting imaginary lines. And then this happened. And then this person said this 3 years ago, but that's tied to this little thing over here. And then they said this one time. And you're like, yeah, that's what it must be. And then they're like, do your own research. But look at this, Jeff. Tell me how you'd feel about this right here. 50 billion was accidentally deposited into a Louisiana family bank account. 50
Dude, this has been happening more and more. There was another one. The woman checked her balance. She had $1 billion. Another one had -1 billion. So this is happening continuously right now.
This guy did his research. He did his research, Jeff. He looked at his bank. He logged into his bank. He had $50 billion there. He's like, hey, I had $50 billion, right? And he said it accidentally deposited in their bank account, making them the 25th richest people on earth for less than 4 days. And then Baton Rouge real estate agent Darren James, he told Fox how he came home earlier in the month, shocked to find his wife held up their bank balance and said, look at this. Open it up. We got 50 billion in our account. And all we were thinking was, who's going to be knocking at our door? Because we don't know anybody with that kind of money. He admits he flirted with the idea. It could have been a rich uncle, rich uncle Pete or something, left them the cash, which if genuine,
I'm going with the prince in Nigeria.
Could have been the prince of Nigeria finally wiring that money, Jeff. You're right. After
waiting for years.
After 26 years of internet scams, like it finally got the money from that prince.
Finally happened. I knew it would happen. I knew he'd fulfill his part of the bargain.
He said, well, it was a great feeling to see it there. Well, too many zeros in your account. I mean, I was part of the 1 comma club, not the 3 comma club. You laughed off. It's funny. So some other funness ensued on this thing. And is Sir-John in here? Sir-John, are you here?
He is. He probably is.
He's here. If he's here,
he's definitely here.
Because I thought that was pretty funny. So, and it was so Christian Guidi was the one that originally tweeted this out. He was the one that tweeted it and tagged me in it. He's like, what are the banks up to? New tech, perhaps? Are they nearing the moon? The moon mission, little moon, there. And I started thinking, well, it's kind of odd, Jeff, that it's going in there, but I don't know if I want to speculate too much into it. But it's a little bit weird, don't you think? Speculate. If you randomly got $50 billion, 50 billion, not a million. Not 10 million, not 50 million, 50 billion, Jeff.
It actually got there via Bitcoin.
It could be. So I retweeted it and I said 50 billion. And Sir-John came in and said, it would be great if they're now being charged transaction fees and income tax. In Croatia, they would have done it the moment the taxable event occurred. You had $50 billion in your account and you now owe us, I don't know, what is that? Like 10% of that? 30% of that, Jeff.
15 billion.
You owe us $15 billion because it's a taxable event. I thought that was pretty good. It's
right.
Was that a taxable event, right? Go ahead and prove it. So it was a mistake. Well, what happened to it?
Ripple to the channels.
What happened to it, Jeff? Did it get pulled out of your account? And what did you do with that money anyway? And what did you spend it on? So then he said,
what did he spend it on?
He said, just to add, they would lose 10 working days messing with the bureaucracy to settle the thing. Bank fees would be charged anyways. Yeah, they probably would charge them bank fees anyway. I thought that was good. I appreciate.
You know who wouldn't give it back?
Berserker?
Come on, man, Berserker.
Berserker. I knew it. I knew Berserker would never give it back. He'd be like, can you imagine? He would be actually on he would have commandeered one of those rockets, one of those Tesla, one of those Elon Musk rockets. He'd be riding in there.
Yeah, and then if Sir-John found it, man, he would be out there at night, all happy.
Wie einst Lily Marlin. Wie einst Lily Marlin.
You almost made me spit my water out. By the way, did we talk about these cool cups that are available at the merch store? Go to onthechain.shop. That's right, onthechain.shop. That boom! Look at that stylish thing. Looks like a little milk jug. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Anyway, just a short commercial. If it's your first time here, like, subscribe, click that notification bell. You want to know why? Because then Google likes us. You know what they do? They suggest it to other people that have never seen us before. Because I was looking at the stat on the video yesterday that actually had, it was like a 60-40 split. 40% of the people not subscribed, Jeff. 60% of the people.
We have pretty good views too. Pretty nice views. Not bad.
John says he's in bed. That might be too much information right there, but that's okay. That's good.
I don't want to know. So part of doing your own research, according to Bill Jack, part of doing his own research is asking questions in chat rooms like this. Perfect.
That's right.
That's awesome. There's a lot of intelligent people. I'll tell you, there's so many great people that come to the On the Chain community. They give great feedback. They let us know when we're wrong. Don't let us know when we're right.
Which is rare. No. Yeah, rare, by the way.
No, it's awesome. Awesome people. We appreciate everybody being here, hanging in night after night after night with amazing comments and amazing chats in the room as well. We love the On the Chain community. So
yeah, speaking of people who have profited from the space, we all know and love the man named Beeple, right? So here's a good story, because I love to see this, Jeff, because he made the transition from artist to builder, right? He started building his space. And so his new NFT push, iconic moments from the sports and pop culture, the man with the top selling NFT of all times, putting his weight behind We Knew, a new marketplace with the physical pieces and premium perks. And I kind of like this because I kind of feel like this could get some legs, because physical perks on top of that. So leading NFT artists, it's kind of a cool perk. And it's a catchy name. We Knew. Spelled a little bit different. And they'll include physical reproductions and other bonus. So Mike Winkleman, better known as Beeple, he was the one that sold it for $69.3 million. And Jeff, did you remember the criticism that was levied at him? Why didn't he keep it in Ethereum? My God, he could have made so much more money. At the time, Ethereum was going through the roof. And then I guess he converted it all to fiat. And well, why? Because he's building a company, man. He's got to pay people. So people said, like, oh, I would have left it in there. I would never have touched it. Until you have $69 million sitting in your account, Jeff, right?
Cashing it out.
Then all bets are off. So
I'm taking that 69 million. I'll take 10% of it, and I'm going to put it over in USDC and put it on the Celsius platform and get paid out 10.5% on 6.9 million. Make about $690,000 a year off that, and then go spend the rest. No.
Then go spend the rest. That's more than that, Jeff. It's more than that.
69 million, 10%.
Oh, so he says it'll feature digital collectibles, physical reproductions, and but I don't want to go to this other part. Yeah, and the low end video-based NFT of highlights from Murray's 2013 season would be priced at $49. It'll have an edition size of 500, so 500 in there. So he's getting very clever. He's not trying to do the one-offs, right? He really understands the space, because he's kind of liking this akin to what the sports collectible marketplace is, right? They'll do a series that's numbered, playing cards and all that kind of stuff. And then he talks about very excited to announce the launch of We Knew. New project we've been working on, and let's see, I don't know if you have the site up yet. I want to see if there's anything up here. Yeah, so the first one, there's Andy Murray's Wimbledon 2013. I remember Andy Murray was in there like forever and a day, and this was a fighter. He finally landed it. But look at some of the people they're partnered with there. It's going to be pretty interesting, man. I think this has a good chance of taking off. Mike Winkleman, God, he must have aged 100 years. What the hell, dude? Don't forget about Tim Smith. I like the drawings, although they kind of make them a little bit older than what they really are. Yeah, Michael Fig, Randy Chung, Ryan Schreiber. So there you go. It's kind of an interesting take to have this sort of like sketches.
We knew.
They knew. And jumping back here, let's see. Here's the. So they're going to immortalize stuff in blockchain, things that happen.
Cool.
Starts out July 2nd, Jeff. So that's what, Friday?
This is gonna be like Beanie Babies.
It's gonna be way cooler than Beanie Babies, Jeff. Yeah, I just think this is gonna be pretty bad. Also, Schreiber, if you don't know, so if you don't know who Schreiber is, he was the founder of Pitchfork, which to me is like, if you're gonna read anything in the covers music, Pitchfork is still the best, in my opinion.
This guy's partnered with Time Magazine. What the heck is Time Magazine? Is it even relevant?
Well, Time Magazine captured a lot of the iconic moments, so I think
in the day, maybe they'll capture the old moments.
Yeah,
the new moments, not so moment.
Yeah. He says Time has already made waves in the NFT space itself, selling 4 NFT magazine covers, nearly 500,000 in total, which is more than they made the last 3 years selling that rag Time magazine. I don't know. I mean, who knows, Jeff? NFT market ballooned in 2021 and early 2021. Jeff, like we're like in 2030 or something. Back in 2021, it ballooned. It was like 5 months ago, right? I mean, it's like, and everyone's like, you've never heard of an NFT before. You're like,
back in the day.
Non-fungible tokens.
In the day when I was a kid,
right?
The NFTs were just coming out.
Here's what I take some issue with what they're doing. I don't think this is the winning formula. They're minted on the Ethereum blockchain by Arweave's decentralized permaweb network. Will host the company. Well, here's the thing. I don't think Michael Winkman's heard of like some of these ones like Sparkle. There's some other NFT platforms that are going to have lower transaction fees, just faster throughput that I think are going to be better. So who knows? The good news is he says the firm will also offset its carbon footprint with fee via transaction. So you're going to be paying some fake fee to offset another fake thing, but someone's going to put it in their pocket and you're going to pay it. So, or you could just go over to something built on Flare where it uses drops, Jeff, like 0.00010, and lightning quick, and it's just insane. I don't know. That's just
Hey, just for a quick commercial break. Reggie's saying research told him that BitConnect was a scam.
Well, that's good, man. We gotta go to Reg a little bit quicker on that. He's getting quick on the tape.
Kind of busy. It's been sitting on been waiting to pull that off for a while.
Well, that's
been there for a little while. That was great.
Yeah. Apex wanted to know how they got Jesus on their team. Look, man, you're people. You made $69 million. Almost anything's possible.
That's right.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, Jesus. Too.
So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about too is, it was funny, Jeff. Can we pull that comment up? Do we have that comment ready to pull up? So I thought.
Which comment?
The comment that somebody posted about last night's show had to do with. I'm gonna have to look for it. I'll tell you what are we
talking about?
We're talking about On the Chain. We do a show called On the Chain Live, and someone had posted
Oh, that was a good comment. Oh, that was a great comment.
I can read it. It's here. I mean,
I'll pull it up. Hang on a second.
See if you can pull that up.
I'll find it.
I might be able to.
What was it?
I'll
pull it up over here.
Huh. Yeah, pull it up over there.
Gotta go over here. Gotta go into comments, and then man, there's a huge thunderstorm outside right now.
Yeah, I already got. There was a big boom earlier. I'm like, what in the heck is that? I'm like, it's either a cannon or it's potentially thunder. I don't know which.
Might be a cannon.
See, it's weird. I should be able to copy this over here, but apparently I cannot.
How did the comments start? Now that we're getting spammed again.
Yeah,
with
we're
all
getting spammed again.
The fake On the Chain Live. I mean, it follows an algorithm. Come on, YouTube. It's the same algorithm every single time.
Yeah, it's always the same.
Just put it into review. You don't even have to delete it. Just put it into reviews. How hard is that to do?
Right. And then let us decide if it is. But, even when we changed it to you can't post a comment for 5 minutes or you have to subscribe. So they subscribe and then they post a comment. I mean, these bots are pretty intelligent. Like this is Google. They can't figure out how to do that. It's incredible. I don't know why they can't quite figure that out, but apparently they can't. Well, anyway.
So DadFit yesterday said these guys deserve a minimum of 100,000 following. They're consistent and brilliant. Guys, you might have to make a price prediction video to go viral and get a nice sub boost.
I'm going on a limb right here, Jeff, and I'm going to say 50 billion XRP per. That's what I'm going on a limb. Of course, someone will take this video totally out of context and be like, you see, those guys are scammers, man. They said it was 50 billion.
You think XRP can hit 81 cents?
I don't know, Jeff. It's at this point, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a possibility. While you're looking for that, I wanted to play something. I want to show stuff that, because someone had made a comment about saying something about Bitcoin and talking about what kind of misquoting us a little bit, and that's okay. Someone thought because I have the comment here. It's I'll read the first part of it. Quincy points out the very factually real problem of scaling with Bitcoin, and you bury your head in the sand, say don't talk about it anymore because somebody will figure it out. Sounds like you guys are losing the plot. And then I go like, oh, I see. This person is sitting over in the UK somewhere.
Oh, you're reading it? Oh, you're reading it. I can't find it. It's
yeah,
not,
I'm gonna read it. We just can't put it out, but it is it's a real comment. And
all
so
right, go ahead and read it.
And so look, and I'm like, any comments, like make valid comments. You agree with us, don't disagree with us. But here I kind of wanted to set the record straight because it's a little bit off. It says the problem of scaling with Bitcoin, you bury your head in the sand, you don't talk about it anymore because somehow it will someone will figure it out. Now, very specifically, Jeff, this is something you stated last night. What you said they would figure out was something completely different. So I said, we talk about the adoption of crypto. Governments are adopting Bitcoin as legal tender is only a tiny part of the bigger picture. The issue regarding Bitcoin power consumption is getting figured out. That's what Jeff is commenting on. For example, volcano-powered power plants in El Salvador that are underutilized. Natural gas produced as a byproduct and back in oil production is often flared as waste, and now it's being converted to power to mine Bitcoin. We have never been proponents of Bitcoin as a payment method per se. Spend the Bits app is making Bitcoin transactions faster and cheaper by leveraging the XRPL. Big boom. Bitcoin's use case is a store of value. And I even asked last night, I'm like, well, what happens if the value drops to like $6, something like that, right? And Jeff and I have both been around the crypto space for years. We are not tribalists, but rather supporters of the crypto space as a whole. And we mainly focus on XRP and Ripple because of the use case, right? Because it has a very specific type of use case. So along the same lines, don't be tribalist. We the same way you're like, well, what about Bitcoin? That's adoption, right? Now, if you look at the top coins from 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, there's coins that don't exist anymore. And this is going to happen over a period of time. But to sit there and say, well, I mean, Bitcoin, this and that, look, it's right now, its use case is it is a store of value. That's what it does. That's kind of what its big gig is right now. And so I wanted to put on something in this video here. This is Max Kaiser.
Well, yeah, before you do Max Kaiser, let me just show you the point and how amazing it is when you can leverage and harness power outside of the typical standard. We're going to burn coal and you got to worry about carbon offsets. You've got nuclear power. There's clean nuclear power. There's even clean coal. There's a lot of different forms of energy, right? And then there's volcano power. Now, this just happens to be a volcano from Iceland that erupted in March. But I mean, this is amazing. It just shows you, how powerful and mighty a volcano could be. And if you can harness just a little bit of that power, look at that magma flow. I mean, look at that. Look how amazing that is. I mean, that's power right there, the heat and everything that's coming off of that volcano. And you can mine your Bitcoin over there.
Why are they
Imagine that.
Close to it?
I don't know. But you get a little bit of that. Look at that. Look at that stuff. I mean, it's unreal. Look at that. Boom.
It's gorgeous.
That's power. That's pretty sweet. Now, that's volcano power.
That's volcano power. And I want to throw this out there. Buford T says those Brits are still angry about that whole colony thing. Yeah, it happens. You know what I mean? I mean, so what? I mean, we sort of. But I want to put this up there because now I will openly, Jeff and I will talk about this.
Commercial.
We'll talk about it. So I hate when I'm like doing this and people are making me laugh in the comments. You read them, and you're like, oh no, you start cracking up. And it's just it's the best thing and the worst thing at the very same time. So I want to put this up here. Let's just listen through this because It might get you a little angry, but let's listen. It's Max Kaiser, okay? Let's listen.
Some fun, kind of like as a victory lap, because we won. You know, we won this race. All the fiat money's on the back foot. Gold is not doing anything. The altcoins, as they're called, whether it's BCH or BSV or Ether or Cardano or XRP, they're all now have been pretty much shown the exit because they claim to do things that Bitcoin can't do. But now Bitcoin has proven that it can do everything any of these things can do, but it can do it a lot better. So there's no use case for those altcoins whatsoever. I don't think many of them will be around in 2 or 3 years' time at all.
When was this made? Is this recent or is this?
Somebody said it was recent. Somebody said it was like from today. I don't necessarily know when it was. Now every once in a while I catch. Thing is Max Kaiser is like a lovable kind of guy, like him, lovable, kind of hate the guy, but he's a fascinating character, right? I mean, he has said some stuff that is, something to think about. But to say that those altcoins, no use case, and it can do everything that Bitcoin can do. I'm like, dude, can Bitcoin go from point A to point B in 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds? Oh yeah, it can. The Lightning Network. Don't get me started on the Lightning Network. That is a failed project, right? And if you're going peer to peer, geez, that looks like it could fall under the security realm. It could potentially, it's like, and then it goes to this person and then this person, then you got to pre-fund it. I'm like, dude, how about if I just click a button and then you look on your phone and you have it? Now Sweet. It can't, and it's so absurd that it can't even come close to doing everything it can. It's already won, Jeff. Fiat's on the sidelines. The altcoins are being shown the exit.
The Bitcoin's a store of value. The fact that it's going to be used every day. We talk about what's going on over in El Salvador. People, we catch a little flack. They're like, why are you talking about Bitcoin? Why aren't you talking about other projects? Well, you look at the crypto space at large. It doesn't matter if you're using Bitcoin, XRP, Algorand, Ethereum. I don't care what you're using. You put it into practical, everyday use case. It's freaking awesome, right? Doesn't mean it's the best. Doesn't mean it's the end all be all. The space is still learning and churning. And the fact that El Salvador is navigating with Bitcoin doesn't mean that a year from now, they're still going to be using Bitcoin. Maybe they realize, hey, this whole experiment of the digital asset legal tender, amazing. But you know what? We're going to add XRP. We're going to add this asset. We're going to add this, another asset, whatever it is. All of a sudden, they have all these other assets. They realize, hey, it's faster, it's cheaper, more reliable. But Bitcoin, for all those guys out there, they're earning in Bitcoin. Keep it in Bitcoin. That's your store of value. That's great. That's what you want to do. Or you can leverage it, put it over on Celsius or whatever other platform. I think sometimes people miss the point of the space in growth mode. It can't just be Ripple is awesome and XRP is the best and forget about everything else. That's just like the Bitcoin maxis. Let's look at development.
What it is,
let's
Jeff?
look at
Can we
these
just say
projects.
that it is?
It's amazing.
Can you say it is the best?
What is it? Number one. And hey, Steve Willett said, by the way, you don't need a volcano for thermal heat energy. Yes, that's true. But it doesn't sound cool. But when you look at the volcano, that sounds cool. You go over to Iceland and they have all the geothermal. You go to a geothermal power plant in Iceland. It's amazing. It's unreal.
But there was so much. So when the whole El Salvador thing came out, there were so many haters like, oh, but sure, they're giving away Bitcoin, but you know what? It's a government license. They're going to track you, and they're going to know when you spend that $30 worth of Bitcoin. Well, then I love when stuff like this comes out. Salvadorians will not be forced to use the government Bitcoin wallet. So in a tweet on June 29th, El Salvador's president Bukele said, he wanted to clear up any misinformation because people didn't do the research, Jeff, regarding the government's wallet application following the passing of the Bitcoin law on June 9th. It takes effect on September 7th. The new Bitcoin wallet's called Chivo. It's slang for cool in El Salvador, and it means it can hold Bitcoin and US dollars. Bukele said it's just one of the many crypto wallets that can be used, emphasizing its interoperability with other wallet apps. And then here he says, what he was saying is to privacy concerns, he said the personal information requested by the wallet is already possessed by the government, emphasizing any requests for personal data within the app are for security. It's called Know Your Customer. It's a KYC, AML, anti-money laundering. Guess what? That's pretty much in every country. But the haters are like, oh no, you see what I mean? It's dystopian future. They're going to be tracking you, and they're just trying to crush you like a grape.
Well,
and but you know what happens, Jeff? You're a Salvadorian. You're like, dude, what? I load Chivo on my phone. Boom, you get beam me some Bitcoin. I'm down for the struggle. I'm cool. Count me in, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a whole economy now surviving on the Bitcoin. Same thing down in Venezuela. 1,000,000% inflation. What happens to your currency? No value. You can't buy anything, right? The people in Venezuela don't want the currency. You might as well burn it for heat, but you start putting it into other things, put it into Bitcoin. Hey, you've got something. The reason why everyone is going to Bitcoin, think about this space. Think about what people know of, how many digital assets without doing research, without being involved, without investing, you've done nothing. Let's say you've done no investment, no research into digital asset. What is the one digital asset that you know? Bitcoin. That's it. Everybody's heard of Bitcoin. Nobody's heard of anything else. If you're outside the space, you talk about it. You got, digital assets. No, like Bitcoin. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. That's it. The common, like everyday person, what is it? 1% of the total world is invested in digital asset. And so the news, the media, FOMOs, hypes, whatever they want to do, they FUD it. They talk primarily about Bitcoin. El Salvador is going to gravitate to the one asset that everybody knows. That's just how it is. That's reality. Once you accept reality, then you realize why they're doing it that way. And again, Chip, the significance of it is more meaningful than the actual use case of the Bitcoin, right?
Never accept reality. That's your first mistake. Don't accept it.
Never accept the reality of it.
Always live in a fantasy world. It's always more fun. Look at this. Look at this right here. This is the tale of two Mexicos. Okay, let's talk about this. So you got Banco Azteca is looking to accept the Bitcoin. You got the billionaire and bank founder. He calls fiat currency a fraud, recommends crypto to be part of every portfolio. Sounds like a pretty good idea, right, Jeff?
That's right. And what is Banco Azteca?
But look at this. Mexico's finance minister confirms cryptos are banned from the financial system. Comes after Mexican billionaire Ricardo Salinas Pliego said his bank would accept Bitcoin. So like, no chance. No, but they're not listening to what's happening in El Salvador. So they're like,
no.
So here's,
I'm sure they are.
Imagine all the goodwill that would be brought to Mexico. You got a billionaire who calls, and this right here is right on. Fiat is a fraud, right? He's one of the richest people and founder of Banco Azteca, said his company's working to become the first bank to accept Bitcoin. The finance minister is like, slow your roll, dude. It ain't happening.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. They operate in Panama, Guatemala, Honduras, Peru, and it offers personal loans, group loans, but they don't apparently give loans to banking officials. I think that's part of the problem. They don't give loans to government officials either.
XRP Panic called it. The finance minister wants his cut. And that's how things are done in certain countries. Nope, not going to happen. Okay, I'll give you 5%. All right, done.
Right? Some funny stuff.
Let it slide. Let it go.
But I want to put this
Bitcoin,
up
the
here.
national currency of Mexico next week.
Somebody else I follow over there on the Twitters and the crypto Twitter, but I thought this was incredibly clairvoyant here. This is from Ryan Adams. He says, the crypto industry only asks one thing from its politicians and regulators: don't screw it up. That's it. Your citizens will adopt it. Your engineers will build it. Your entrepreneurs will finance it. The next Silicon Valley's inside your borders. Just don't screw it up.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's spot on, right?
That's everywhere, all around the world. I mean, it's amazing. I like that, man. The next Silicon Valley inside your borders. How Salvador gets it. Other countries around the world are getting what's happening here. Come on, we got to wake up. All this other noise is just kind of noise, and, I'm not singling out anybody. We've been talking about this, for a long time. People keep bringing up Kinsey. I'm not referencing anything you said. The guy he's brilliant.
Quincy?
Right. Quincy. Did I say Kinsey? Quincy. So
Kinsey.
The guy's brilliant. I'm not, my focus, my comments have nothing to do with what he said. I saw a brief exposure of some of his comments on Crypto Eddie, and that's pretty much it. All of our commentary on Bitcoin. I'm just saying I saw some other topics earlier on. All of our commentary is the same commentary we've been talking about Bitcoin for I don't know how long. I still believe, that 10, 12 years in, Bitcoin's not going away, but it's not transactional. That's the whole point. That's what everybody's going to understand. It's a store of value. The big institutions get it. Everybody gets it. It's first mover advantage. You understand business, then you start understanding the principles of first mover advantage and identification in the marketplace. And we understand why everyone's gravitating to Bitcoin first. That doesn't mean it's the best. That just means it's the first. Right. That's what people identify with. That's it. That's all it is.
They come for the Bitcoin. It's like you're invited. That's right. And they go for the rest. Like, you ever invited to a party, you go for the party and you stay for the hors d'oeuvres. I don't know. I mean, it's like there's always something going on there, but something brings you out, right? And look at this right here. We got Mr. Silent X says, hello, new friend. Thumbs up. Really appreciate that. Mr. Silent X from the Philippines. Thank you for that.
Nice. What part of the Philippines?
Oh, let's see if he throws it in there. We'll see. Mr. Silent X.
Nice.
Please shout me out. I did shout you out, and I just saw that there. I just shouted you out for no reason because the kind words you said. And he says, hey, welcome, Mr. Silent X. So, yeah, I mean, it's always great to have new people in here. And BZ says, tell my boss I'm going to be late. I'm waiting for my Gatorade transaction to go through. You're going to be waiting a while. It's like,
you're going to be waiting a long time. Wait about 24, 48 hours and expect to pay twice.
Listen, I know it's going to come through. Look, Bitcoin can do everything that every other coin can, and I've said, like, Bitcoin. I was a Bitcoin maxi. Yes, that's true. 2013, bought Bitcoin, bought the hype. Only thing that's decentralized. Everything else is blah, blah, blah. But then something happened to me. I actually did my own research, and I was like, I think this is right 100%. Something doesn't seem right. And then you go down the rabbit hole and you start swimming around. You start seeing a lot of cool stuff down there, Jeff. So.
That's it. It's awesome.
That's what it is. It's a lot of. We had so many. But look at this. This is another great story. Again, we just throw some quick headlines up there because combining two nights. Hydropower stations are now for sale amid China's crackdown on mining. Right. So they they found a new way to secretly mine Bitcoin despite the crackdown. Let me see here. Which is actually, I didn't realize that was such a big deal. That you had all these secondhand. Hey, Jeff, you want to go in on a secondhand hydroelectric power plant with the installed capacity of roughly 50 megawatts?
Where is it?
They're being sold in China.
Where are we going to set it up?
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick up a used F-16. We're going to fly over there. We're going to go buy a secondhand hydroelectric plant. We're going to start mining. You know what?
Why do we need the F-16 to do that?
Dogecoin, just for fun. Because it's not outlawed there yet. I don't know. Well, I was just making reference of a funny joke that the president said that.
Oh yeah,
you need an F-16.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've got one in my backyard. Let's go.
Yeah, so you buy one on the dark web. You pick that up. You get a little bit of a secondhand hydroelectric plant, and it's like they're selling secondhand, Jeff. They got dealers. I mean, did anybody know there were that many hydroelectric power plants? You can count them on your hand in here in the U.S.
But Hans is right. I spent all my money on a volcano already.
Oh man,
can't go halves.
Knew it. I knew it. Well, once again, we get to that moment in time where we have to send the love. Thank you for giving the love. Thank you for being part of the On the Chain family. It's ever growing, and we will say one thing that we believe deeply in is this is the smartest people anywhere in crypto, bar none. In that chat right there. That's right.
Come right to OTC. On the chain community, the best, the brightest, and everything else.
And the quickest 4-second transaction speed, Jeff.
Yep.
Just saying.
Hey, there's some cheap miners too coming out of China.
Their dams are
half
engaged.
Price. What's that?
I know. Yeah. Best hydroelectric power plant if their dams are engaged quality construction. Oh, I appreciate that. I love when you guys make me laugh. It is really something fun. Yeah, that's always good. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. Take it easy. To the moon. Good night. Upon Rob McDermott.
New here. Sub to the channel. You guys know all that stuff. We did set it up so that in order to comment, you have to sub to the channel. Hopefully that helps with some of the spam bots that are out there. You know what? I might not have set it up on this one. Never mind. Forget I said that. I think it was only I tested out on the last one. But if you haven't subbed already, go ahead and sub to the channel. You like what you see. And guess what? We actually stream 6 days a week, even through technical difficulties. We'll still be there streaming because, you know, even though you might not understand us, we understand us, and it sounds kind of like this. Other than that, six days a week, Chip. Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, beautiful. Well said, Jeff. I've got nothing more to contribute other than thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you guys on the next one. Chip and Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.